So only God knows. Oh my gosh. So I'll keep here my reference materials also. Okay, look at this guys. Nakaloka. I really bought this, this one like a compartment of your files. So here, nakaloka. Sabi ko mag-discuss ako ng propane. Charot! Okay, but this time I segregated all my, my credentials, my diplomas, my training certificates, ganon, like that. My work experiences, like that. My certificate result of the PRC board examination. Okay, and the result also with the Bush Internet National General Certificate. And my OSHA. Okay. Guys, to tell you honestly, I'm a legit auditor of OSHA's 18,000-2007. Okay. The ERCA, International Register of Certified Auditor. 17436. I passed the international examination. That's 2015. Like that. In Makate, we have trainings for 5 days. Naval Clerk is an international safety training centers catering a lot of ISO trainings and a lot of management trainings also. But I pick up OSHA 18001 or 2007 lead auditor because I'm in safety, right? So there's a lot of quality, ISO 9001, environmental, ISO 14001. Also, there's also laboratory. Okay, a lot. Mga certifications ganon. Nagditanan guys, okay? Pagkatawa siya sa akong organic chemistry, lagi, when I really scanned my TOR, oh my gosh, bago na ako pinag organic chemistry. Okay, I thought sa general chemistry lang po exact, but also pala sa organic chemistry, taas akong score, grade. Okay? Ganun. Di ba? Munang love kaya ako kung ano mga chemistry, organic chemistry, di ba? Okay, mulugwa mo muna guys. Okay? Di ba ito yung mulugwa kayo na siya kung in the area you are good at it. Okay? Even though you will not prepare, something like that. It's already your instinct. Something like that. Just like singing. Okay, when somebody give you a song, then you have to sing that one, and you hear that so many times. And then you can manage to sing that well also by your own style of singing, your own way of singing, even though you will not practice that so many times. Right? When I do the singing moment, usually Friday and Saturday, some of the songs I sung is not really that practiced. For the very first time I heard it in radio, in my phone, but when I sing that for the very, very first time, I wonder why I will know the tune, I'll know how to sing, because you hear that so many times, and it will be reflected in your brain cells, in your hippocampus part of your brain, the storage of the memory, knowledge, and information. Okay? Dito, di ba ang cerebellum is the back here, and we have also the hippocampus sa brain, sa atong central nervous system. Brain cells compartments. Charot. Okay, nakakaloka. Okay? Now, it could have been that as we grow older, our memory declines. Okay? So that's the time we need to do extra effort to eat a lot of protein like this, and eat the right kind of food, green leafy vegetables, fruits that fortify the well, vitamin C, and then do a lot of exercises that can remove your sweat so that you can have a good metabolism in your cycle to maintain your health immune system, something like that. Okay? And if you do that also, you will maintain your high blood pressure, sugar level, cholesterol level, something like that. And your weight also will be controlled automatically because they are always dependent with each other if you try to do that program also regularly. Okay? It's not how many or how frequent you do that, how heavy you do that. It always need to be regular. Okay? It doesn't matter the time or how you do it so many times. If you do so many times and then next month nothing, it's not good. Okay, it's better to do slowly, but monthly, or weekly. That's the best. Okay? Because I observe also somebody will go to the cricket oval, and then after 1 month, they disappear. Okay? Next month, they return another, also will come back. It should not be like that. If you try to maintain your metabolism, good metabolism cycle, you have to do it regularly. Okay? In a year, like that, or even in a century, wow, in a decade. Wow. Decade is 10 years, right? I forgot. 1 century is 100 years. I forgot. There's an equivalent for that. 1 decade is equal to how many years? 1 century is equal to how many years, right? I forgot. I think, kuan siya. Charot! Basta ko nakalimutan ko sa ano, sa formula, o sa equivalent. How many years in 1 decade? How many years in 1 century? Since that is century, my brain cells also work right now. If it is century, that is coming from the word centi, right? That means 100 pala siya talaga. So 1 century is equal to 100 years because of the word centi. Oh, my brain cells work now. So meaning to say, 100 years is equals to 1 century. O, diba? And 1 decade, how many years? Decade is, it's just like a decagon. How many sides of decagon? Diba 10? So it's gonna be 1 decade is equal to 10 years. Right? So just, if we know the concepts really in mathematics, sometimes it would help. Because I did not memorize this, but my brain cells really troubleshoot it as quick as it is. Okay, like that. But double check also in the Google search. Maybe it's wrong. Because I don't depend on Google search right now. Okay, it's based only in my memory recall, memory in. Okay, like that. To the point. Again, 1 century is equals to 100 years. 1 decade is equals to 10 years. Why? Because century is coming from the word cent or centi. Okay? And decade is coming from the word decagon. Decagon has 10 sides. Or also, you can equate that to a decane in hydrocarbon. So decane meaning 10 atoms of carbon. So, since we are dealing with years, that's also 10 years. So, 10 years is equals to 1 decade. And thank you. Ganon. Ganon siya ha. Lini Robredo, ganon. Okay. Lini Robredo talaga. Diba? Ganon. So, balik ko na to ang propane, guys. Una ko mag-intermission number. Wow. Sino ko sa nai? Uy, wala na intermission number. Ako ko mag-intermission number. Ay! Kapoy! Kapoy akong mga ano do, dire, vocalarics muscles. Di ba dalim, guys? Uy! Di galing ang mag-belt out of high notes. So, C3H8 plus oxygen gas. Incomplete combustion ta, guys. Okay? So, ganon. So, kung sa ganito ang product ni Engr na, if we talk about incomplete combustion, we will have suspicion. Really, we suspect that the products are carbon monoxide, carbon, water, plus carbon dioxide. But let's have the flow of the detailed elementary reactions, meaning a series of reaction before it will reach the final chemical reaction. So those what we call as elementary chemical reactions, or reaction 1, reaction 2, reaction 3. And after that, you have to add each chemical reaction and you have to cancel which of them are cancelable. Of course, it has the same number of moles in the reactant, in the product. I have 2 moles of water in a reactant and I have also 2 moles of water in my product, and I have to cancel the water immediately because it's in the opposite side by the law of algebra. Okay, left, the net equals to nga, equilibrium is equals to the right. So you have to cancel that out. If it's the same place, then you have to add. Okay? You get the point. So 1 mole of H2O plus 1 mole of H2O in the reactant, that will become 2 moles of H2O, common sense. So the same also with the product. Okay? So muna siyang makancel siya because it's opposite. Okay? Like that, there's an equality sign in the center. Okay, in algebra. Not only dealing with chemicals, but also in the variables, X, Y, Z, polynomial topic in algebra, the algebraic expression of linear equation. It's easy to cancel if we have the same, variables and figures or coefficient, and it's in opposite, left and right, cancel talaga siya. 2x equal to 2x is because cancel ang 2x, ganon. And another way also to cancel is that if you multiply that one, then the numerator will be the same as the denominator. The numerator will be the same with the denominator. You can cancel that immediately also during multiplication process in algebra. Okay? So that will be used also in the balancing of chemical reaction, because we'll always be using that one, because we will try to multiply the reactant and the product somewhere along the way, because if it involves improper fraction somewhere along the way of our chemical reaction. Ganon. Okay. So we have propane plus oxygen, this elementary reaction number 1. Okay. CO plus water. Okay. Guys, there's an issue for this. Later I'll be able to discuss also. Issue. Okay. This is equation number 1. Okay. Okay. Here guys, we'll start with a solid element, carbon. So balance the carbon immediately. Okay, how many carbon on the right? Ganon, chupa-chuchu. Okay, ganon. So we have carbon in the right is 3. Carbon is 3. We put also 3. Algebraic expression, so 3 is equals to, put x beside CO, it will become, x times 1. So x is equals to 3. That's why you put 3 beside carbon monoxide. Okay? We avoid the trial and error balancing, because that's not good. Okay. Sometimes also in algebra, in mathematics, guys, especially mga variables, ganun, sometimes we use also, right, trial and error, especially in the topic of, wait, I will remember. In the topic of, in quadratic equation, sometimes we will use that. There's a quadratic equation, which is the simplest formula of to compute the mga variables, in the, especially mga slopes, di ba? Katong mga y is equals to mx plus b, n is equals to y2 minus y1 is equals over x2 minus x1, the slope, right? And after that, you can compute also the angle of inclination, if you have a right triangle, right? Using the Pythagoras theorem. But aside from that also, we can use the other, other trial and error. Katong yung siya times ang duhag, x plus y times x minus y. Ganon. Diba? So trial and error na siya, guys. Dili man na siya quadratic. So for me, I would rather choose the quadratic equation also when I was in college. Okay, it's just me because I'm comfortable with. But it's up to you. If you're also comfortable with trial and error method, it doesn't matter at all. Okay, but based on my comparison, it would really lead to errors if you will use every time the trial and error method. Okay, because there's a lot of options in your brain cells to use. So many options at the time, you will come back again and your time will be consumed also. Better use the quadratic equation. Positive minus b, and square root of b squared minus 4ac. Ganun, di ba? Minus 4ac to b. Magagawa, di ba? Exactly. Quadratic equation, di ba? Over 2a. Over 2, over 2a, right? So, positive and negative b variables, square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Double check that also in your basic math and algebra. Maybe I forgot. That's what reflected in the brain cells now on the spot. Okay, quadratic equation. Okay, and then the a, the b, and the c has its own value based on the form of the algebraic expression. For example, you have 2x plus 4xy plus 4. And then the a will be your 2, the b will be your 4, the c will be your constant at the last in the third term. Okay, first term, second term, third term. So an algebraic expression composed of 2 or more terms. That's the definition of algebraic expression. And it could be a linear, and the other one is exponential. Okay, katong mga 2xy raised to the power 2, xy raised to the power 4. There's an exponential form, but if we just talking about the plain variables and the numbers, that is linear algebraic expression composed of 2 or more terms. Okay, ang terms ito pasabot guys, may pares nga variable. So 2x, that's one term. Okay, 3xy, that's also second term. Okay, and the c it's merely constant y pares na variable. So these values will be used in our quadratic equation to compute the specific algebraic expression by using the quadratic equation, though we can also compute it by using the trial and error method. Okay? It's up to you guys. So na-touch na ako siya because it's very necessary in the balancing of the equation also. Okay? Now, we have 3CO here. Nakaloka. Okay. Oh, diba? And then the second step, guys, another like this. Okay. Another like this. Okay. C3H8 plus O2 is equals to CO plus H2O. Right? Equation number 2. And now you need to balance here the hydrogen. Okay, the hydrogen. First carbon, second hydrogen, and the last will be the oxygen. Okay, this is the sequence. Okay, hydrogen 8, so put 4 here, like that. Ganon. Okay, now, your final equation will be C3H8 plus O2 is equals to CO plus H2O. Ganon. Okay? This is your equation 3. Now, if you try to balance this without looking the elementary equation 1, equation 2, you can still balance that also. First option, which is the normal scenario or the basic circumstance or situation. Like normal situation or normal case. Okay, like that. Okay, then we can balance this immediately. Okay. Or by considering the elementary 1, reaction 1 and 2. So let's do the first option, balancing immediately this number 3 without looking 1 and 2 first. Let's try to prove that it will be equal also if we try to add the reaction 1 and reaction 2. Okay? Ganon. So proving. Okay? Because sa totoo lang talaga guys, if you're studying engineering course, you have to prove, you have to derive, you have to create your own formula based on the postulated formulas that you encountered in your classroom instruction. Something like that. You will not focus only to the what is being discussed by the instructor. You need to think out of the box that there are still more equations if you try to correlate and link one formulas over the others. Something like that. Even if the topics are not yet discussed in that particular moment. What I'm trying to say. For example, our topic here is density. Okay, the instructor will discuss about density. And then, all of her examinations will be dealing with density. Right? But sometimes, in his examination, he will correlate that to the expression of the concentration, in which she or he never discussed at that moment. Okay? Because she or he expects that you know that already in your previous subject in chemistry. Okay? Meaning to say, prerequisite subject, it's understood. But during her or his actual discussion, she never do that to connect that in his present discussion. So the students will normally confuse for that because that's what those are in the past. Average students like me, also including me, will normally forget that. But it's linked also at that present subject. So I think 80% of the students, these are the technical mistakes. Because most of us will always focus on the present discussion on our subject, but we forgot. That's why we have prerequisite subjects before taking that. What I mean by prerequisite, for example, this is the subject in second year, and there are subjects in first year. You will take first the subjects in first year before taking that subjects in second year. So there's a purpose for that, because they will no longer discuss that in the second year. Okay, because it will take time. That's the main purpose. So the students also will confuse because they will never expect that also to happen in the examination. For example, like this. What is the density of, chloroform in an aqueous solution at 25 degrees Celsius at a pressure of 1 bar? Ganon. Ipagitan yung density. And then, follow-up question. What is the rate of reaction of chloroform after 20 minutes? Wow. After 20 minutes. Meaning to say, rate of reaction, it involves time. Okay? And the topic is not about rate of reaction, it's all about density. Ganun. Pero yan di-connect dito. So, munganga kasagaran sa students for that. Because who expect that to happen? And that's that strategy and technique also of the instructors and teachers, so that they will measure your maximum intelligence potential for that particular situation. But not all the time, but naagid talaga na siya mo ng naagid. Para na to isod siya. But actually, it's not. Okay? Because we feel isod because it was not discussed at present. We feel difficult because it was not discussed at present. But it was discussed in the past. All we have to do is to link and correlate those previous formulas to the present discussion of your instructors inside your classroom instruction. Ganon, technique siya. Mga siya mga technique. Man, ang ginamit siya guys, maugin siya importante. Okay, because nobody will help you if you're facing in the examination. You yourself only during the actual examination. Okay, especially too much distance at your side, 1 meter, your seatmate in the, for example, in the board examination, they'll sit apart like that. And they are also from different schools. Okay? Don't expect they will help you. Okay? You will save yourself first, of course. Okay? You will never ask because kanya-kanya na siya during the actual examination. Okay? Ganon. Okay? And then the proctor will always rotate. Ganon. Very strict. Ganon. Always looking side to side. And then you will feel also myocardial infarction. Okay, to the situation. You will feel sometimes also heartbeat fast, like that. Your heart rate will be, oh my gosh, what can I do? I forgot this. So you can only help yourself at that moment. Okay? You get the point. Nobody will help you. It's yourself. And then sometimes also completely ukab. Because in our board examination, we are allowed to bring the chemical engineers, Peary's chemical engineers handbook. Okay, and a very lengthy handbook, something like that. Heavyweight talaga. Bugat siya ba? Na handbook na naarin to tanan. Okay, but the problem is you will never know what specific topic will come out. And then the problem is you'll keep on scanning like this. So that's why we chemical engineering graduates, we put labeling. Okay, labeling in each in the handbook, what particular topic, like it's easy for us to go there if there's a question related to that, because usually the topics involve graphical analysis, graphical and tabulation analysis, that it involves a lot of interpolation. Before you come up with the correct answer, there's a lot of interpolation, ratio proportion. Not only that, also double and triple interpolation. Something like that. The single interpolation is a little bit easy compared to the, double interpolation, triple interpolation, and also you correlate, mabuang ka. And then it's there also what could be discussed sa maestra, because in the handbook itself, na siya kaugaling formula, then ihatag dito sa yung graph. Correspond. For example, table point 8.2, na yung empirical formula nito, 2x plus 2y plus d. X is the value of pressure, y is value of the temperature. And this is not yet discussed also sometimes in the classroom instruction, because the handbook, as I said earlier, is very huge. You cannot discuss that for 20 years on inside the handbook. And your course is only 5 years. Okay, how can you finish everything in the thousands of pages for that particular handbook? You will never. Okay, I tell you honestly. Okay, there's a lot of things to remember. Okay, and then I also believe in this. Even though we are already chemical engineers, there's still a lot for us needs to be learned. Okay, some of my discussion here also I did not answer. I did not clearly understand during my college days. Okay, though it's already a stock knowledge and upward knowledge, but I have also to research more, okay, just to understand further pa siya talaga. It's not a guarantee that you will graduate from 5 years or 4 years, you know everything of the specialization you are taking in. Okay, there's a lot pa talaga siya. Kung imo dyan tukipon, something like that. Okay, so but then we will only focus into those topics that we will be applied in our practical day-by-day life, right? So those are the stuff that we need to learn. Mga basic lang kaayo siya. Mga weight, mass, the pressure, flow rates, those are very basic, right? Especially in the process, you have to know that. Okay, especially if you are a process engineer, something like that. So we need to learn it, but the others, Too much talaga. Okay? Yung mga process na, oh my gosh, huwag dito. Okay, so ikaw na bahala. Anong higayon na. Charot! So, advantage ang mga kugihan, and then advantage ang mga kugihan, kung focus yun ba? Okay? Okay, ma-maximize man nila lang study. The length of preparation. And study, even though they are not intelligent, but the length and adequate preparation would help a lot for them to pass. Okay? Get the point. Preparation, adequate preparation, the length of time, and then the resources that they are using also sometimes matters. Okay, yeah, they are using not all obsolete, obsolete meaning 1970s, 1980s, and then budding in the actual board examination, some trivial questions coming from the present year. For example, today, 2022, some of the questions related to 2022, 2021, 2020, and then there are instructors who are not discussing that in the question instruction because there are new discoveries. Okay, there are new discoveries, also science discoveries that are not yet reflected in the old textbooks. You get the point? Okay, it is in the journals, in the encyclopedia, but they are not incorporating in the old textbook. So sometimes nga. Okay, that's why we need to buy new and updated also resources before taking the board examination. Okay, self-review, okay, adequate preparation, length of time, then cut off unnecessary activities. For example, watching too much, teleseries, movies, drinking alcoholic beverage, barkada dito, barkada dili, okay? This will not help unless bright juga ka. Okay? Bright nakadaan, hindi juga sali. But kasagaran, bright ganun, hapong pamanggani. Okay, so you should have maximize the time, like this, blah, 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 so and so. Okay? So, cut off watching teleseries, cut off movie cinemas watching, cut off muna date sa uyab. Okay? Cut off muna ato sa kulon, cut off na mga necessary, mga outing, cut off everything, focus on your direction. Okay? Focus on your direction. Muna. And then if you feel bored, then you can go back to your, inclination. For example, me, I love to sing, then I have to sing. After I studied a lot, and I have to sing to release the stress, like that. And then going back study, something like that. Okay? So, you don't have also to pressure, but you need to relax your brain cells also for a moment. But it doesn't mean that you will go there, and you never study again because you relax. You can relax in your room. Okay? Something like that. And then you can segregate the necessary books that you will be able to use and also your notes. Me in my room also have a classification. For example, this is stoichiometry, ganon. Okay, organic chemistry, chemistry lectures 1 and 2. Okay, ganon. Mathematics, differential equation, integral calculus, differential calculus, engineering mechanics, strength of the materials, thermodynamics, industrial process controls, probability and statistics, advanced engineering mathematics, ganon. Organic chemistry, biochemical engineering, ganon. O, diba? So, segregate and then study properly. Okay, ganon. O, diba? Okay, ganon siya. Okay, so going back to the reactions. Ganon. Okay, now we have his balance versus this one. And out of the balance din siya, guys, i-complete din siya. Wow. Siya. Siya. Okay. Okay, that's i-balance na ito. No? Ay, sa natanaw ang 1 and 2, never look at 1 and 2. Go directly to the final chemical reaction first. And after that, you have also to go back to 1 and 2. Okay. 3 carbon, then ganon. Okay. Carbon, like this. So, I don't have to go back with the basic. Ako lang ibutang dito 3. Okay, equilibrium man siya. So 3. Okay? Spoon feeding ra kayo guys, no? Okay, so 3. And then hydrogen, 8. Okay, hydrogen. So let's see, 4. So let's understand that I'm done with the algebraic expression of balancing the equation. Because I keep on repeating that, right? Okay. So, ganon. Ganon siya. Ang oxygen, 2. Oxygen 3 plus 4, right? Oxygen in the left is 2 oxygen in the right is 7, so I'm deficient of 5 atoms of oxygen. So go to the product, right? No, go to the reactant, the left. Okay. Insufficient man siya, meaning kuwang or less number of atoms of oxygen. So X.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
So 2x is equals to 7. Then x is equals to 7 halves. 7 halves meaning 7 over 2 improper fraction. Okay, put the 7 over 2 beside the oxygen gas in the reactant. So it becomes 7 over 2. Okay, like that. So erase this. Okay. So by looking at that alone, so 3 atoms of visual inspection. Okay? Sa mga daotang mata, sorry na lang, hindi makaklaro. Ako, hindi ko makaklaro sa akin. Okay? So, 1 mole of propane plus 7 halves of oxygen gas is equals to 3 moles of carbon monoxide plus 4 moles of water. Carbon, 3 balance. Oxygen, 7, right? Oxygen, 3 plus 4, 7. 7 oxygen, so 7 divided by 2. It's not balanced yet. Okay? Kaya naman na siya, guys. 7. 2. Cancel. It's balanced already, sorry. Balance ang 7 ang oxygen. So this is a balanced incomplete combustion of propane. This one. Now, this is direct. How about considering the elementary reaction? So if you consider the elementary reactions 1 and 2, then you have to add that by algebraic summation or algebraic addition of elementary reaction 1 and elementary reaction 2. So let's rewrite that here. So C3H8 plus oxygen gas is equals to 3 moles of carbon monoxide plus water. Okay, and then plus C3H8 plus oxygen gas. Klaro ninyo, guys? Okay, palay na ako ang board. Nakakaloka. Di ba klaro na? Di ba? Okay, ganon. Is equals to CO plus 4H2O. Ganon. Okay. Now, what do you think for this reaction if you try to add this one? Because the same terms, the same variables, the same substance. So if we add this both 1 and 2, we can get 1 mole of propane plus 1 mole of propane is equals to 2 moles of propane, right? 2 moles of propane. Okay. 1 mole of oxygen gas plus 1 mole of oxygen gas is 2 moles of oxygen gas. Okay. 3 moles of CO plus 1 mole of CO is equals to 4 moles of CO. Right? H2O plus 4 moles of H2 is equals to 5 moles of H2O. Now, balance that one if it is balanced. So carbon, 6. Okay. Carbon is only 4 here. It's not balanced. Okay. So, mag-assume na po tawag algebraic expression of balancing. So 6, charara. Diba? Kay carbon man. Okay, ano ka dito sa put X beside carbon monoxide. Carbon na itong i-balance. Okay? The technique is you will go to the compound where the element you balance is there. Okay? Ayun pagpataka. At tudyog ka sa compound that this element you are trying to balance. And then if there are the same also, go to the compound that is less. Go there and let X, not to the more atoms. So, if that is a situation, but more or less it's not like that happening. Usually, the other one will never contain the same element, usually. Okay? But I'm talking to you, if that case happened, that there's the same, then go to the compounds that have less number of atoms, then put your X there. X means the unknown atoms. You try to compensate, to equalize, or to make it equal to the number of atoms in the right or the left, so that it will be equal in a steady flow reaction in the law of conservation of mass theory of chemistry. So that's the purpose and objective. You let them equal, so that the rate of forward reaction will be equal to the rate of the backward reaction, or else you cannot have the chemical reaction if the rate will not be equal. Okay, so that's the purpose. Okay, like that. So in here, so you have 6. Okay, 2 times 3 man siya sa carbon is equals to 4x. Okay, wala man kayo subscript sa carbon monoxide sa carbon. Okay? So 4 extra siya. So x is equals to 6 over 4. Okay? So by algebra, basic math in elementary level, grade school level, di ba? Least common denominator, LCD. Okay, in proper fraction. So let's try, because these are all even numbers, even divisible by 2, something like that. Okay? So 2, right? 2 is your LCD. So 6 divided by 2, 3. 4 divided by 2, 2. So you have now 3 halves. So put 3 halves beside carbon monoxide. Okay, 3 halves. Ayaw gilabti. Never touched the foremost already in your first balanced equation. Okay, there's a purpose for that later on. Okay, now, erase. Charara. Okay? Now that is for the carbon. Ganon. Diba? Okay. And now, let's go to the hydrogen. Hydrogen in the left is 16. And then the hydrogen also in the right is 10. So, deficient ang product. So, let X sa water ang X sa H2O. So, X. Oh, ganon. Ganon siya. 10. So, it will now become 5 times 2 times X is become 10X. Okay, so X is equal to 16 over 10, LCD again. Okay, 2, 8, and then 5. So this is 8 over 5 in proper fraction. 8 over 5. Put that beside water because it has lesser number of atoms of hydrogen. Okay? Get the point? Nakakaloka. Okay, so 10. Okay, for the hydrogen. Okay, and then 2, and then, okay, 10, 6 plus ganon. You get the point? 10x, at kung ipapas dito, kung naglibo ko. So 10x is equal to hydrogen 16, di ba? Limon ko. And then x is equal to 16 over 10, di ba? So 8 over 5. Okay, muna ko memorize dahil lang 8 over 5. Sorry guys. Okay, 8 over 5. Butang nyo mag put the 8 over 5 beside water. Okay. Muna ang hydrogen. Oxygen 4. La. So, in this case, guys, since there's a lot of improper fractions, simplify first so that we need to balance the oxygen. Okay. So, 2 C3H8 plus 2 moles of oxygen gas is equal to simplify. So, muna na siya kung yun ninyo. Sa 4 times 3 halves, pila man siya? Basic math. So this is 12 over 2. O, di ba? 12 divided by 6. O, nahin mo siyang kuan. Exact. That's the purpose. Nalili na to siya tangtangon ng mga improper fraction. Ganon. So, plus 5 times 8 over 5 H2O. So, 8 over 5 times 5. O, cancel ang 5 sa ubos. Pwede numerator man, di ba? So, it will become 8H2O. So, 6 carbon monoxide plus 8 H2O now. Balance now the oxygen. Our purpose only is that to make clear in our eyes during visualization. Kaya bulubog siya. Maglibog ta. Okay, so if you are really intelligent enough, then you have to balance directly. But we are doing the proper thing here. Okay, so again, balance the oxygen. 4, ganan. 6 plus 8, 14. 14 ang oxygen sa right. And sa left is 4. So, deficit na po siya 10 ang left. So, let X beside the oxygen gas. So, X. Ganon. So, 2 times X, 2X times 2, 4X. So, 4X is equal to 14. So, X is equal to 14 over 4. Okay, this common denominator is 2, 7. So, 7 halves. So, put that as a 7 halves. Okay, here. 7 halves. Okay, now, try to balance that one. Oxygen, 14 divided by 2, 7. Okay, 14 divided by 2, 7. 7 halves man siya, guys. Okay, and then 6 plus 8, 14. O, di ba nakakaloka? So, if there's an improper fraction, multiply both sides by the denominator so that we will cancel that all throughout. That's the rule. We need to avoid improper fraction in our balancing equation. You can never see a book in chemistry all over the world that has a final chemical reaction that has an improper fraction. Never. And there's also no point something. For example, 1.3 mole of carbon dioxide, because there's no such like that. It will never reach there. So we need to be exact, or one figure only, whole number. Our purpose is that, so we need to multiply that with 2. Okay? Okay, 2 man ang denominator, makancel na yun siya. Okay? So 2. So 4 moles, ganon. Okay, ako na rin ang ibang reaction ha. Let's focus to this. Nakakaloka. So 4, table type 2, so 4 moles of propane. Di ba taas siya guys? 4 moles of propane. So ba mo? O wala na? Okay? Listen to me, because if you're a parent right now, teach your children, especially they are taking chemistry right now, you can teach your children also, especially today we are online, no face-to-face. So as a rule of the parents to teach your children also. Okay? Because there's no on-hand and actual face-to-face instruction in some countries or whatever, then you need to teach your son, your daughter about this topic also, especially if they are studying chemistry. You should be open to your son and daughters as a moral support to them, as a part of your parental guidance, responsibility of your children. It's not enough you're only guiding them for parties, like this, occasions. No, it's not like that. You should be balanced, okay, through happiness and through sadness, through difficulties and through easy moments of their life, something like this. So, open, okay, OPEN. So that they can raise their problem to you, so that you can monitor also his or her activities in schools or whatever. So helping them to be guided in the right direction when they grow up. You get the point? So that's the best role or responsibility of the parents, to have parental guidance. And parenting or parental guidance not limited to how you act in the social community or in public. So teaching them also academic information is part of it in parental guidance. You guide them to learn something so that they can use that learning when they grow up. That they will know, this water can help me like this, strong, because, oh my gosh, water is life. Ganun siya. Okay, 2 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, they can never understand that. Okay, so you need to guide them slowly as they grow up. It's not enough that you will feed them with, food, shelter, like this. It's not enough. Those are material things. Okay, it will just vanish later on. Material things will vanish, but the guidance, advices, learnings, and knowledge they will use that for the rest of their lives. You get the point? So that is more important than a material thing. Okay? So that's the role of the parents. So things like this should also be shared to your sons and daughters, and your children in a family, in the basic society. Basic unit of the society is the family, in which also the parents will act as teachers to their children. And thank you. Okay, so 4 moles of, it happens only that my vlogs are science, okay? But for others also, they are sharing also information. Other vloggers, because there are millions of vloggers and live streamers all over the world, or social media influencers, not only me. Okay, you can go also there if the topics are related to them. If the topics are related to me, and so you can also have as a reference. Only like that, okay? So you have full freedom to choose according what is necessary in a particular moment. For example, if your children needs math, then go to the math vloggers. Listen there. There's also a lot of vloggers regarding math. Okay? If the problem also are relating to so money matters, then go there also. There's a lot also vloggers related to investments. Ganon, go there also. Okay, ganon lang siya para-paraan. Okay? So because there's a lot of social media influencers, YouTube content creators, like that. You get the point? And if you really want chika-chika, okay, marites, showbiz, or go to the showbiz vloggers also. Okay? But those are mabaw. Okay? So it will never improve the quality of learning of your children. Okay? If you're just following the celebrities, what their lives all about, it cannot motivate them because it's mainly showbiz. Okay? Like that. So go to the more deeper topics that your children can bring that up when they grow old, up to their last moment. Okay? Diba? Muna gitulo sa kong parents. Tinga na ka. Okay? So, diba? That's the best learning you can achieved by your parents, not the material thing. You got the point? Because it will vanish. You teach them to be dependent for those materials, and without those materials, then they will crave, and then problem also for you. They will, they will act as a rebellious, meaning you try to quarrel you, to disagree with you, and but then problem, it will create collision, hated speech, and family war or disagreement or a conflict of interest, something like that. You get the point? Mana sinita po. Okay, going back. Nakalokan. Kasi sida ko ang ano. Laoy. Okay. Sa nawala kay matug na ko. Char! Okay. 4 moles of propane. Nakakaloka. Diba? 4 moles of propane. Ganon. Plus, nakancel na siya sa 7 oxygen gas. Diba? So, 2 man siya, diba? Multiply mo siya. Okay? So, nahimo na siyang 8. Okay? No, 12. Sorry. 12 CO. Kaloka? 12 CO. And then 16 H2O. Okay? Ganon. Oh, diba? Balance ang carbon, 12. Balance ang hydrogen. Hydrogen is 32, right? 32. And then oxygen, 14. Oxygen, 12. Di balance siya ang oxygen gas. In this case, unsay mong buhaton. Muna na siya mo apply ang theory. Okay? In this case, theory will be applied. Okay? What is the definition of incomplete combustion? The products of the CO2, CO, water, and carbon. So you need to add now here carbon dioxide plus carbon. Okay? Get the point. So how many carbon now? 12 and 12, like this, blah, blah, blah. So in here, you will go back to your balancing. Okay? Like this. Muna siya ang technique. Okay? Okay guys, muna siya ang product. And I will start balancing now again and again and again. Okay? I will erase na. Dugit mo na kung nino nyo, dugit mo kuman. Basta incomplete combustion. Okay? Okay, muna siya. Okay. Now again, 4 C3H8 plus 7O2 is equals to 12 CO plus CO2 plus C plus 16 water. Okay, ganon. Now, balance again. Oh, 12, balance na siya. 12. Okay, ganon. 12 plus 1. So it is 13. Oh. So 13 put here. Balance of 1. So X here. Right? Okay, deficit man siya. Okay, 13, 12, X deficit, right? So this is 4X. 4 times 3, 12. 12X. 12X is equals to 12. Okay, plus 1, 13. So this is X 13 over 12. Okay, put the 13 over 12 here in your carbon. 13 over 12. Oh, na. Now go to your hydrogen. Okay, guys. Now yung hydrogen, 8 times 13. Pila man siya? Hydrogen. So 8, 32 times 13. Okay, 6, 96, 2, 3 equals to 6, 11, 416. Di ba nakakaloka? Okay. Ang hydrogen mo sa pikas pila? 12, 32 na siya. Okay. So, a lot of deficient. Okay. So, now, multiply with this x here. So, that is 16 times 2, 32, 32x here. Therefore, x is equals to 416 divided by 32. Is 416 divided by 32 is exact or not? I'll use the calculator. I think it's not right. So 416 divided by 32. Yes, it's exact, guys. So 13. So put the 13 here besides your hydrogen. So it will become 13 times 16. Okay? Pila, guys? 16. Okay, times 16. Pila siya? That is 208. So 208 moles of water. O di ba nakakaloka? Tag-as kay siya, okay? No problem. Okay? O, di na siya problema kung tagas na siya o dili. Charot! Ang oxygen. Okay? So we have 12. Okay? Muna siya, no? Oxygen, ang isa kay 1 ari. Oxygen 2. Okay? Plus oxygen 208. Wow, nakakaloka. Okay? And then X, so 14X na siya daan. Okay, 12 plus 2, 14, 208 plus 14, guys. Okay, 208 plus 14 is equals to 222. 222 divided by 14. No, it's not exact. 222 divided by 14, magkuha tag less common denominator. Charot. 12 plus 2 plus 208, right? Okay, 222 divided by 14. 222 divided by 14. Let's say, ano siya? Klaro kayo, ang least common denominator is 2, right? So, 7. So, 7. 222 divided by 2. Pinaka-111. Pasahan. 222 divided by 2. Yeah, 111. Okay, 111. Okay, ganon. So, 111 over 7, put that beside oxygen. 111 over 7, right? O, ganon. Now, balance again. Okay? Ay, yung kahadlo ka ng mga figure-figure sa kilid, kaya simplify na magkakagibayan. Okay? So, carbon. So, 12 or 12 times 13. Ganon, chuba-chuchu. Okay, divided by 12. So, 13. So, it will become now 13. Okay? Nakakaloka. Huwag na di ba kung kuan ay 13. Okay, carbon 3. And then hydrogen mo pila, guys. 13 over 12. So, 8 times 13. Oh, di ba? Ang saya-saya special. Di ba? Divided by, okay, 8 times 4, 32, okay, times 13 is equals to divided by 12. So, di lang mo kaya may point siya, guys. So, ano lang siya? 8 times 32, avoid point by siya, no? So, 32. 8 times 4 is equal to, ganun-ganun chuba-chuchu, times 13 is equal to divided by 12. So, 416 over 12 lang siya. 416 over 12. Okay. So, this is hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen 8. So, hydrogen 8, we have ganon. Okay? So, imagine natin natin, guys, gamon na yung hydrogen, ha? Oh, ano na siya. Teka na, compound magod na siya, guys. Kung compound ganit, guys, ilahan ng duha ang number of atoms and number of moles. Compound man siya. Tama na, good? Okay? So, carbon 3, so 43, 12, ganda, chupa-chucho. Yeah, 12, 13 over 4. Makuha naman na mo, guys. Uy, 13 times 4. So, 52. So, ano na siya, guys? 52 over 12. Okay? 52 over 12. Propane. Okay? Kana siya. Ganun siya, mausan na ang imong i-multiply ang HA. Kaya ilahaman ng duha. Get the point? Ilahaman ng duha. Kung kani siya times ni mo na siya, mausan na yung kuan sa HA. Kasi ilahaman ng duhang kuan. Okay? Get the point? So, ano sa na siya? 52 over 12. Parihura siya. Okay? Get the point? Parihura siya kay kilid man na niya. Sa multiplication, the coefficient in the multiplication, parehas lang tag-iya. Ang matter na niya, guys, it depends on the subscript na lang siya. Okay? So, ganon. Kakaloka. Diba? Okay. 52 over 12. Ganon. 3H8. O, ganon. Okay. Now, ang oxygen gas kay 111 over 7 times 7 oxygen gas. Cancel. 11 na lang siya. Oxygen gas. Okay. And then 12 CO plus CO2 plus carbon. Okay. Ang carbon mo, napamakay carbon 3 ari. Okay. Plus 208 of H2O. O, di ba nakakaloka? Ganon.
So, i-balance ni mo 8 times 52. Okay. Ang carbon ni mo, pila mong carbon, ganon. So, hydrogen, 52 times 8, ganon. Oh, 416. 416 divided by 12, so point something siya. So, mag-multiply ka amin niya, guys, with 12. Para makancel siya, ha? Okay? Para makancel mo ang kuan. Ang yung denominator. You got the point? And after that, muna na itong equation. I-erase na ito. Okay? Ito na kang equation, no? Sumapi mo balik. Charot! Diba? Nakakapamurat ang oras. Okay? So, gusto na oras na, uy, matulog na tayo. Taas kayo. Okay? So, ano rin na may balik na C3, H8 plus oxygen gas is equals to carbon monoxide plus carbon dioxide plus water. Ganon. Plus carbon. Ganon. Now, take a look. So, take a look at me now. Okay. Carbon 3. Carbon 3. 1, 2, 3. Equal. Okay? Hydrogen 8. Oxygen 2. Okay, hydrogen or oxygen? Hydrogen to na na. Okay, so, sa'yo na kayo hydrogen ay 8. And then oxygen 2, ganun-ganun, chupa-chuchu. 1 plus 2 is equals to 3, plus 4 is equals to 7. So, deficient ang kilid. So, alagay rin 2x is equals to 7. X is equals to 7 halves. So, 7 halves dari ari, ganun-ganun, chupa-chuchu. Okay, ganun. So, now, balance again. Okay, 3 carbon, oxygen 3, oxygen, ganon, okay? Okay, 14 divided by 2, 7 man siya. Okay? Then 4, 6, 7 siya. Okay? Hydrogen 8, hydrogen O balance siya. Perfect? Carbon balance siya. But ang atong kontra na siya improper fraction, let's multiply this by 2. Okay, and then this will become 2, C3H8, and then this is 2 times 7 halves, this is 7 oxygen gas, is equals to 2 moles of CO, right? Like that. 2 moles of CO plus 2 moles of CO2 plus 8 moles of water. Ganon. So, 16 hydrogen, carbon 6, 2 carbon. Okay. Nasaan ang carbon usa? Sorry. Plus carbon. Okay, so carbon 2, 4 plus 1 carbon here. Okay, ganon. And then oxygen, 14, oxygen, 2, 8 plus 4, 12 plus 2. So 14. So balance ang oxygen. Okay, ganon. Okay, balance na ba siya? Okay, ang carbon. Ganon. So carbon, 2 carbon, 4 carbon, plus, okay. So, in this case, guys, na, murag kiwaw siya. You know, kiwaw? So, klaro kayo na, balance na limutan. You make it to a point, balance na siya tanan. Ang theory work din siya. Okay, di ba din yung kunin nyo na, nasantay ka ng, di ba, atomic, monoatomic. For example, yung kunin nyo na ang oxygen, you will never put that as a monoatomic in a chemical reaction. In this case, na nabalance na yun siya tanan, okay, and then deficit lang yun siya buwan ang carbon, so it could have been pala siya na carbon will exist as a carbide. Theory na niya siya. Carbide, meaning diatomic carbon atom. So that's what reflected on my brain cells. Because we have also oxygen, it will become a diatomic oxygen or dioxygen. Actually, oxygen gas is a dioxygen because of the subscript 2. Okay, by following the rule in chemistry. But we don't normally call that as a dioxygen because it's kiwaw. It's awkward to use that term. So we have to use oxygen gas. Okay? So we need to say, this carbon will exist a gas in the product, so that is called carbide. Nakakaloka. Diatomic carbon. Diba? So it will become C2. Okay? Check guys, kung namag yung C2 nga formula, ako sa na-check ako ara ni siyang theory. I may be wrong, I may be right, but due to the chemical reaction, everything is balanced already. Let's see, 6 carbon, okay, ganon, and then 2 carbon, 4 carbon, then 6 carbon. Okay, let's do this in what topic in chemistry? In chemical calculation. So if we denote that as 2 in the subscript, we can also denote that in the side, which is the coefficient. And then you will weigh meaning which is more logical. This is not critical thinking. Wala mo na siya itulog sa maestra God. Maestro, ikaw na ang mo decide unsa ang particular theory nga mong pasok sa banga. Okay? The first option is you will try that to put as a subscript in which carbon will exist as a carbide by subscript 2, something like this, na mo pareho po dyan sa oxygen. Let's say. And now, imo siyang ihuna ang physical property. Though carbon and oxygen have the same property, that's the first theory you ask in your brain cell. I think carbon, ako na siyang gidua-dua akong imagination. I think carbon is a solid and oxygen is a gas. So it will never hold true if we try to put them in one situation. So let's think for another option. Ano siya? So your first option will be invalid or illogical because the solid substance can never act as a gas in a diatomic molecule. Because that is carbon. Normally, carbon will become black after burning the carbohydrates or any materials. There's a presence of black ashes that could identify that is a carbon. Now, in your chemical reaction, you will try to put subscript just to satisfy that it will become balanced. No, it's not. So it's illogical to do that. Okay? So we are now in the critical thinking stage. Something like that. Okay. Now, what if I will put the 2 besides the carbon here as a number of mole? Okay, 2 carbon. Is this logical? Something like that. Okay? So you'll say, okay, because you never put that 2 subscript, it's still a solid. But have 2 number of moles. It's possible and logical. It's still a solid substance and you just put 2 moles in there. Now, look at the balancing equation. It will be balanced. So 6 carbon. So 2 carbon. 2 plus 2 plus 2. So 6 carbon balance. So it is logical and valid to put that as a carbon only. A carbon atom with a 2 moles carbon, not the C2 on the subscript. So, ganun ba? Imo siyang ikon. Because balance naman yun siya tanan. This time, theory comes in. You get the point? Okay? Like that. And then, oxygen is 14. Oxygen 2, 4 plus 8. Okay, 8 plus 4, 12. Something like that, 14. You get the point? So, balance ko na yung oxygen. Okay, ganun. 2, okay, 14. And then, hydrogen, balance ba? 16. So, perfect. This will be now the incomplete combustion of propane. Okay? Diba guys? May pag ako na lang isang uno, na mo ni siya ang full day kumadugay. But I'll never memorize the actual. I love to do it on the spot. That's why it takes me a longer time to achieve the correct formula of incomplete combustion. Because honestly also guys, this will not be used every time. So we will be only using the complete combustion in most of the problem solving. Complete combustion, meaning there's no appearance of carbon monoxide and carbon. But here, just for the purpose of studying that there is also another type of combustion that is incomplete. At least you have an idea. Because in examination, as I told over and over again, it's not always complete combustion or being mentioned there. Sometimes incomplete combustion. So if the problem is incomplete combustion, mungangata. So that's why we have an idea how to compute it. Okay? So ano siya? Okay. Propane. 2 moles of propane plus 7 moles of oxygen is equal to 2 moles of carbon monoxide plus 2 moles of carbon dioxide plus 8 moles of water plus 2 moles of carbon. So in an incomplete combustion, very clear that there's a presence of or a black residue in the incomplete combustion. Okay? But in a complete combustion, maybe this carbon atom will not be noticeable. Okay? Because it is perfect or complete combustion. You will never see the black residue. Right? When you run the engine, you will see the black residue. Okay? Your automobile.
Di ba? Wala kayo nakita sa heat combustion na black particle. Meaning to say, complete combustion, not incomplete combustion in running your car. Okay? Heat combustion engine ang tawag ana sa sulod sa hood. Okay, when you open the hood of your car. Meaning to say, the process there is complete combustion in your heat combustion engine, not the incomplete combustion of gasoline, not the propane. Because propane is liquefied petroleum gas. So, gasoline, C8H18, 8 atoms of carbon and 18 atoms of hydrogen. Now, if you make also an incomplete combustion reaction of gasoline, use this pattern also. And again, balance the chemical reaction and then bingo. And use the carbon only as a monoatomic solid, ha? Because we learned already now. Okay? By assumptions and by theoretical concept, it is valid or not. Ganun naman talaga. Valid or not, then reject. It is valid. Is valid, then accept. Ganun talaga ang science, guys. Rejection, accept, invalid, valid, proven to be correct or not, then you have to justify through data gathering and through your scientific laws and chemical formulas or any situations that you could present your justification in a chemical reaction session. Yes. Okay? So, may para akong yun ng gasolino para tag-as mo kayo. Ang gasolino guys, tag-as ka siyang number of moles. Okay? Tag-as ng mga 58 moles, mga ganun, 76 moles. So, parang nakakaloka. Okay? Yes, it's logical because how can you run the car if the number of moles are only less? Right? So, it's logical to have higher number of moles in gasoline during the combustion process so that it will run your car. Diba? Nasa yung relevance why we need to understand. Okay? Ganon. So, ganon siya. So, carbon should per me. No Sanskrit. Okay? Monoatomic carbon always in the incomplete combustion. Just now learn at this moment in time on the spot. Because I'll never memorize the correct balancing. Actually, the reference have, but again, it is not a challenge for me to vlog and to live stream in which I know it already. Okay, I know meaning I completely memorize like that, and I just discussed to you. As you can see in my discussion, there's a lot of stoppage, right? You can observe that one, and I will post for a while. I will think that's the result of the spontaneity of my discussion, meaning on the spot, not prepared. I have only the topic, and then I will expound that. Okay, something like this. Okay, kalas. Okay, any questions so far for complete combustion and incomplete combustion, guys? Nothing, right? Okay, that's very clear. Okay? And now, pwede naman manabaho sa petrochemicals or petroleum industry. Because there's a lot of hydrocarbon chemistry there. Process to process. Okay? Units to units, like that. Okay? Ganun. Yung timanan nga guys, kanara mga operating parameters sa work equipment, sa vessel, na usually nasa mga gauges, pressure gauges, mga devices ba, mga leveling, for example, level of the fuel, level of the water, mga instrumentation systems, mga, for example, pressure transmitters indicators, volume transmitters indicators, temperatures indicators, mga ganon, di ba? And then pressure gauge, na yung mga pressure, i-attach na siya sa mga vessel, sa mga work equipment. So you will know the parameters there. That's what we call operating parameters or operating conditions. Normally, temperature, pressure, volume, so sometimes density or the flow rate, but not so much with that because once there are basic operating parameters, you can compute for the density and the flow rate because that's already vector quantity, meaning a lot of quantities involved in one formula. Okay? Like that. But this temperature, pressure are scalar, something like that. Okay? Ito the point, scalar quantity. Physics. Okay? That the direction is not considered, something like that. Okay? But for the what is the one? Vector quantity, both the magnitude and the direction will be considered. For example, where to go. For example, if you have a fuel, this fuel will go to the left, will go to the right, with corresponding density
and mass and molecular weight, of course, and then it will go there. So, klaro kayo, na siya yung magnitude, okay, which is the weight or the mass, and there's also a direction where this fuel or where this water will go. Up, down, okay, like this. There's a lot of displacement. Okay, displacement. You remember the topic of displacement in physics? It will just also be arrive in your brain cells during the actual when you inspect. Just like me, I am a safety engineer. When I check the plant, all those, all those quantities will be in my mind, and I will just imagine me walking, oh, what is the displacement for this? What is the distance of this particular? So it's just only in my mind. I'll never voice out that, but it's only in my mind. So it's really interesting because okay? So it creates happiness and fulfillment or contentment, even though, there's an issue of, salary or whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter at all because I'm already working for 21 years. Okay, there will be a fluctuation of the salary. It doesn't matter anymore for me. Okay, as long as I'm working. Okay, like that. You will be happy because you learn something in which you see in actual. Okay, in the school. Meaning to say you applied what you are learning or what you learned. So it's very enjoyable to do that. Whereas if you will just work and you did not apply what you are, so problem. Not really problem, but it's not fulfilled. You are not fulfilled. Okay, you get the point. You are walking, oh my gosh, what's the density for this? Ganon. Okay, let's check for the pressure. Ganon. Okay, and there's a pressure there. Na, mag-convert ka sa imong mind. Oh, 1 bar is equal to good. Imo rin i-convert sa imong brain cells while walking. Get the point? 14.7 psi is equal to 1.013 bar is equal to 7. Ganon. Mura kang magduwa sa imong brain cells while you are walking. Di ba? Interesting. Mo na akong culture and attitude. Okay? Ako siya gina-practice when I was high school until college. When I walk, when my mother pushed me to buy something, I will always incorporate the lessons in the actual movement in my house. For example, if my mother will ask me, John palit itong asin. This is sodium chloride. Okay, ganon. So I always convert that in the lesson. Okay, that I learned. This is sodium chloride. John, palit ito kasi this is sucrose, carbon 12, H22O11, just like that. So in that way of culture of attitude, you will memorize that after how many years? Because you practice that at a very young age. Get the point? So you will memorize that only one time, but you will carry that technical information until you reach 50 years old, 60 years old, 80 years old. Okay? So that's my style. And it helps me a lot in passing the board examination in that type of attitude and culture. Okay? So have that as a habit because it can help you to pass certain examinations or whatever examination that you will be facing in the future. Okay? Ganon. Ganon siya ka-interested na. Sabi ko na, bitsin. Ganon. Bitsin. Pero na guys, subo ko sa kong mama to buy bitsin. Bitsin talaga. Ajinomoto. Okay, like that. And then, at a very young age, I really look for the chemical formula. Really. Okay? I really look for the chemical formula. Sa una na ako gibot, sa gamay pa ko, mutan-aw ko sa iyong nutritional facts, sa mga ingredients. Imagine, I'm not a chemical engineer at the time. But I still watch the labeling. So that's already my habit. Even though elementary pa ko gamit, basta ako na ako siya. Okay? Now, it carries that attitude. And then I found out that this vichin is monosodium glutamate. Okay? Pero wala pa ako kibaw sa formula sa monosodium glutamate. Siyempre, elementary pa baya ka. Ang word lang sa nga monosodium glutamate. Okay? And then as I go learning, I research. This is the formula of monosodium glutamate. Ganan, di ba? So, you can carry that and then you will master that also when you grow old. If your course is really related to science, muna siya buhatan niyo per me. Be observant sa mga labeling, sa mga food products, pharmaceutical products, medicinal products, cosmetic products, food and beverage products. Always look for the ingredients and natural facts, and then you try to research if you cannot understand. Okay?
And then little by little, it will stuck to your brain cells when you grow up. Okay, and then it will connect also to your health status in life. Why? Because if there is more of this, it's become dangerous to your health. If you will become less of that ingredient, it will become bad for your health. So you have an idea, and your teacher will never teach you to do that. It's all yourself only by default. Just like a computer by default. You can do that by your own self without somebody pushing you to do that. Okay, it will become a learning, blah, 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 and then it will accumulate to your brain, so it will help a lot also in passing several examinations. Okay? Especially a lot of terminologies, blah, 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 so and so. Diyan na lang ako giveaway, hindi mo ako bright of math. Okay? Then, I am very, very just blessed by God because kung anak pala mong attitude, dali na kanyang makakunan ang math. Okay? If you have that kind of attitude and culture, and then it could easily be convenient for you to learn about math, even though you are not very good at math. Okay, because math and science are always going our partnership with each other. Okay, that's reality. If you are taking sciences courses or engineering courses or related to, design or whatever. Di ba mo dyan syempre magpares? Okay? Mula siya ang technique, mga high school students karon na nagtanaw sa akong vlogging, and also first year college student take up BS Chemistry or BS Chemical Engineering, BS Pharmacy. A lot of memorization will do. Okay? A lot of memorization will do. Okay? And then highlight that with a highlighter always, the technical term, and then, for example, if you have this, for example, I remember this when I was in high school. Okay? For example, ETA. Ito, sa mga ETA. Ethyl triamine. Ganon. EDTA. Ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. EDTA solution. Like that. Okay? I already memorized that when I was in high school. Okay? Not in college. So, and then in college, it will come back also again. So, na-master na ako ang definition. Okay, things like that. Okay, you got the point. For example, IUPAC, IUPAC chemistry, so International Union for Pure Applied Chemistry. That is the rule. So you should also learn the acronym. So International Union for Pure Applied Chemistry, that is IUPAC. Okay, ganon. O BTU, British Thermal Unit. Mga ganon ba? So start memorize the basic acronyms of science, and you will learn a lot. You will still be using that when you be in the college and then you graduate, or even though you are not working, it will be still used. Okay? You get the point. Muna siya. Okay, but it doesn't need to become intelligent that much para lang yun na mo i-memorize. We should only that having as a habit or a culture so that it will become an attitude. If that is a habit or not, a culture, then it will now become an attitude. Okay? Mumala siya primero. Okay, ganun siya guys. Okay. Time check brought to you by Alaska Powdered Milk. Bye-bye. God bless everybody. Thank you so much for watching for this lengthy explanation of the incomplete combustion of propane and hydrocarbons. Thank you so much, guys. If you need my little academic sharing of pure sciences, physics, chemistry, biochemistry, and not all, and other sciences, and you can also chat me in the FB Messenger. I can share my academic information regarding to that. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye. If you are not yet subscribing my YT channel, then you can subscribe also now, or if you don't like this, okay, also. And then you can click the notification bell for some newest updates of I Am a Singer, eternal voice, all about, again, sciences, health science, occupational safety and health, personal vlogging, singing, a whole lot more. Thank you so much. This is again your YouTube content creator. I am a singer, eternal voice, Sotero. Bye-bye. God bless everybody. See you in my next vlogs and live streams. Nakakaloka. Diba?